Welcome to Fast Effect Double Speed Magic the Gathering. Here we have James on Turbo Depths leading out with a Duress against Burn. A solid opening. Jordan's got a couple of mountains. And that is effectively gaining 3 life there for James. Take your pick of any one of the 1-mana burn spells. A Chain Lightning going to the face. And this is just going to be a race to 0. Depth's going to look to assemble that 20/20. Burn going to look to throw as much fire at James's dome as possible, hopefully with some creatures along the way. Interesting in this matchup is that Vampire Hexmage can be quite a deterrent on the ground thanks to First Strike, potentially holding off Eidolon of the Great Revels, Goblin Guide, and to a lesser degree the Monastery Swift Spear, though honestly you can often get away with just swinging into it, even if you don't have the burn, potentially, depending on how the hand lines up. People do have a tough time with bluffs in Magic. It's something we don't see that often anymore. It was a much bigger part of the game in the early days, I feel. Riftbolt suspended, and now Eidolon. A crop rotation, probably in response to the Eidolon, and that's going to grab the Dark Depths, which will be able to tap for black thanks to this Urborg, making an end step 20/20. And all of Jordan's work in this first game looks like it'll be for naught, as he's going to be eating 20 to the face from James's attack step. And that will do it. So Fire Blast might have gotten him somewhat close, but ultimately that is how these games are going to often play out. It'll be a turn away from victory very often with either one of these decks when they face off. So some of the notable cards here, Price of Progress, of course, can be very strong, but there are plenty of games where it's not super relevant, given that they only technically need to have just the 2 non-basics, your Thespian Stage and your Dark Depths. You can work with basic lands depending on the build. Actually, though, James is on a Rainbow Depth, so he does not have the fetch land build, so that's actually different. I'm not sure which one's better. This one's definitely cheaper. We did actually just have another player pick up a full Legacy deck to be able to play in these events. We will see, perhaps, on camera fairly soon, another Rainbow Depths build. Now there's the build that runs like 3 Bayous and 4 Verdant Catacombs. That's going to tack on like practically, I mean, was that like $2,000 now? I don't even know. Like Bayous might be like $500. I'd have to check. They're getting crazy. Dual lands are really, really charging right now. The people that have been listening over the last 25 years, pretty happy with their decisions to pick up those fetch lands, and certainly anybody that I've talked to over the last couple of years who started on that journey to getting those dual lands is very happy to have that skin in the game and actually have part of that upside as those dual lands go up. Even if you grabbed, Bayous or Badlands just to kind of get the ball rolling, at this point you've really seen some significant gains, which you can, just enjoy, just having those cards, or you can potentially now trade those towards your underground seas or whatever, and at least have had that type of return on your investment. It really is about getting that skin in the game. People talk about like not buying Apple and regretting it. If you want to lose a friend, ask them what they bought instead, because usually the answer is nothing. Usually they didn't do anything. They just were afraid of failure, so they didn't do anything. Like that's what feels safe to people. It's not where you want to be. You got to take some risks. We will see how these players assess their opening hands. Burn on the draw is actually sometimes even better. So Jordan not necessarily going to be in too bad a spot if he wins this game. That extra card can often make the difference. One way of thinking about Burn is a combo deck that's looking to assemble 20 points of damage. And we've got a Monastery Swift Spear starting out solid. Now, barring sideboard cards, this matchup really is just a race. With sideboard, you can get some interesting cards. There's Ensnaring Bridge is definitely an option, though it can be a little slow. And Alpine Moon is a 1-mana spell that can come down and basically stop the Dark Depths combo until it's handled. Now that costs 1 mana, and it does also turn their Dark Depths into a multi-land that can tap for whatever they need, making it easier to answer with things like Assassin's Trophy and Abrupt Decay. But this deck is not going to have a super tough time making that happen. Now we've got a Lava Spike to the face and 2 more damage coming in. Jordan unfortunately not able to make complete use of his mana. He's got 1 mana left open there. Not really where Burn wants to be. Vampire Hexmage, yeah. We got Urborg into Dark Depths, into Hexmage, classic line, making an absolute mess of things. Now here, talking about bluffing, you cannot actually swing in with your well, I mean, you can. You're pretty much dead no matter what here. Swinging with your Swift Spear. You know what, now that I thought about that, my mouth went before my brain. You totally swing, because if they make a 20/20, then you can actually get it with like Dead Gone. You can actually bounce it to their hand. So you totally swing here. I don't think anybody's going to block with the 20/20. But if they do make that mistake, it can potentially open up for a disaster. So I think the safest line, I mean, I guess you're walking into Dead Gone no matter what. Yeah, you just make the 20/20. Just make the 20/20. Really making them think, though. So you can block with the Hexmage and then make the 20/20. Doesn't really matter. You're going to have a 20/20 and the shields are going to be down. We've got a Price of Progress in response to the Hexmage. So he's going to be taking 4. And then it's just going to be cracking back for 20. These Dark Depths games can go really quickly like that. Even though when you're measuring the turns, it may not be that fast. They do actually play out pretty quickly due to the simplicity of the strategy. Very elegant. That is all for this one, but don't worry, there is a lot more. You can check out our older videos, and we're always putting out new videos from ELD's Time Vault Games in Bellingham, Massachusetts. If you want to help the channel, of course, you can like, subscribe, share, tap that notification bell so you can know the next time our new videos come out. Thanks for watching.